So is running bad for you as you get older? And the answer is an emphatic no. There are so many benefits that you get from running that actually become more important as we get older. It's so important to keep yourself heart healthy. And running, particularly if it's something you've been doing for most of your life, is such a good way of staying heart healthy. And similarly, it's never too late to start running. Obviously, as we get older, we want to do that process more slowly. But all the benefits that you get from running, increasing high density lipoproteins, decreasing low density lipoproteins, keeping your heart healthy, keeping your blood vessels and arteries able, or maintaining their elasticity is the right word, which is really important in controlling blood pressure, maintaining the health of joints. I mean, this is something that people don't talk about. We hear running is bad for your joints as you get older, but the reality is that joints respond well to movement. They need movement so that they lubricate and so that they stay healthy. The problem that creeps in perhaps as we get older, but particularly as we become sedentary, is that the muscles start to become imbalanced. The joint lubrication starts to become reduced, and therefore we start to, I'm exaggerating slightly, but you start to get almost like lesions or sticky points, and the joints don't move in the way that they're supposed to move. And that is what starts to cause the wear and the tear and the osteoarthritis. So it's absolutely not true that running is bad for you as you get older. We need to run. We need to run in the right way. We need to give ourselves a little bit more time to recover from those efforts, but running is an excellent way of maintaining health and having a healthy life as you get older. Of course, as we get older, there are some things that we do need to be aware of, and I'm going to hand over to Shona so she can explain those to you.
All right, so a couple of things that we need to consider as we continue our running journey as we get older. The first one, and it's probably one of the biggest ones for me, is that we can't expect to train the same way that we did when we were in our 20s and our 30s. We have to start being a lot smarter about the way we do things, considering things like recovery a lot more. And so the way we structure our training becomes really, really key. You can't expect to be sort of hammering down the way you used to when you were younger and be getting the same results. If you do something like this very often leads to injuries. And so injuries is the second thing that I really think we need to consider. Our bodies are going through a degradation, a natural aging process. And so that does put us at risk of more injuries. And so we really need to start considering the importance of strength training, because that is absolutely vital to keeping you consistent and injury free.
The strength training side of things is a huge benefit. As we age, we tend to lose muscle mass, and we want to slow, and that's a natural phenomenon. Unfortunately, we can never get away from that. But what we can do, and where strength is a huge benefit, is we can reduce, or we can slow down that degeneration of muscle mass. When I talk strength training, I know a lot of people get concerned and they think I want to throw them in the gym smashing heavy weights around. That's not necessarily what I mean. We're really referring more to resistance type training. If you are new to doing any strength, resistance training could be something as simple as body weight exercises. So I'm talking push-ups, body weight, squats, step-ups, those sort of things, where you're using your body or your body weight as resistance. And then from there, progressing into a little bit more weights, whether it's dumbbells, kettlebells. Resistance bands are a very cool tool to be using in any sort of resistance or strength training as well. So it doesn't have to be very expensive, high intensity equipment that you find in the gyms. This is stuff that you can be doing in your living room, at home, mostly with things that you might have lying around the house.
The third thing that we need to consider is that as we get older, there is obviously a general risk of falling, and that's very well reviewed and researched in the literature. This is where strength training also plays such a massive role, because when you do strength training, you're essentially strengthening the neural pathway. So from your brain to your muscles, that's the first aspect that starts to degenerate as we get older. And so by strength training, we really sort of reactivating, for lack of a better word, those neural pathways, and that helps with the risk of falling. We've put together a master's strength training plan. If you're interested, you can download it by clicking on the link on screen now. A very common concern as we're getting older is osteoarthritis or arthritis, or in some cases rheumatoid arthritis. And this is something that we definitely need to consider while we're running. It comes down to how we structure our training, and we just need to be very smart that we're ensuring increased recovery time in between sessions, so we're not exacerbating those areas that are perhaps affected with arthritis. And again, I know I sound like a broken record, but strength training just plays a massive role here, because if you're not doing strength training, that degeneration on your bones is going to happen a lot quicker than if you are doing strength training. So that load on the bones is going to assist a little bit with delaying that inevitable fatigue of arthritis. And so just continue to do that and really consider how you're structuring your training to ensure that you're getting enough recovery.
So now that we know the running specifics and what you should be doing in your run training, we can talk about some of the other aspects that will keep you running for many years still to come with a lot less load on the body. And I'm talking about cross training, for example. It still gives you a really good cardiovascular benefit. And when I talk cross training, I'm talking potentially cycling, swimming, potentially even rowing. Something that's really taking a lot of that eccentric load that we talk about off the body, and really it's non-impact. So from a cardiovascular point of view, you're getting really good benefits physiologically, but from a physical point of view, it's not nearly as taxing on the body, and you can add that into your training sessions or into your week scheduling that will keep you going, keeps the fitness up, and will prolong your running career for many years still to come.
So two of the things that become increasingly important as we get older is that we want to do our running at the right intensity. Another word to use around that is to say to get our pacing right. And what do I mean by that? I mean that we have to have runs that are easy enough, and we have to have runs that are hard enough. And that's quite important, because as we get older and we try maybe a little bit too hard to hold on to how we used to run, that means that we're pushing ourselves too hard every day, pushes you into a cycle of feeling really excessively fatigued, and critically pushes up our injury risk really high. So it's really key as you get older that you make sure that on easy days you really do pull back and run easy enough. And secondly is this aspect of recovery. So it's probably important that you do reduce your running slightly as you get older. Devlin's already spoken about doing cross training, and that is a way that or something you can use to maintain similar levels of activity. But because of the high impact nature and the damage that running does do to your muscles, as we get older, we do need a little bit more recovery time between sessions. You typically want to reduce your training or running frequency. Most people are running between 5 and 6 days a week. As you get into your 50s, 60s and 70s, you probably want to cut that back to 3 to 4 days per week.
Our number one goal is to keep people running for as long as they want to run. And so if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some of our other videos, like and subscribe, and also be sure to download that Master's Strength Training Plan by clicking on the link on screen now.